Theology with the purple sign next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
Hey there, it's Tori with your hometown station weather. Some clouds in the morning. Afternoon showers are expected with highs today only in the 50s, overnight lows in the 30s. For anything and everything Santa Clarita Valley related, go to hometownstation.com or find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KHTS Radio.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Good morning and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Advanced Audiology. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, KHTS. And I think Dr. Dorio is probably busy with one of his patients, and he will be here shortly. And our guest, this is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And our guest this morning is Carrie Lujan. She is the Communications Division Manager with the City of Santa Clarita. Well, that's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on.
It's nice to have you.
It's nice to be here.
Terrific. And speaking of seniors, we have a list of things here that you're going to be discussing with us.
Yes. Should we talk? Let's start with the Senior Center.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Have you had a chance to be over to the site yet?
No, I have not.
Well,
I've just seen pictures of it.
It is beautiful, and I have to say I was fortunate enough to get a special sneak peek tour a couple months ago, and it is going to be an amazing facility. They have done a spectacular job putting it together, and they've really thought about everything. So walking through, we got to see all the different rooms. There's going to be a dance studio. There's a computer lab where seniors can come in and learn about the latest technology. Speaking with Kevin McDonald over there, he said one of the things that they're most excited about is having the ability to FaceTime or chat with grandchildren and children. So whatever help you need with your devices, they'll be able to do that. But more than anything, it is a beautiful facility. The ballroom is gorgeous. They're going to have a garden, patio, outdoor area. So I imagine that it's really going to make a difference in many people's lives. A place of great entertainment and learning opportunities and a beautiful place to be.
That's wonderful. My husband was one of the original founders of the Senior Center.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he
That's
was.
fantastic.
Yes, he and Chuck Pendleton, who of course deceased quite a while ago, and of course Joanne Darcy.
Of course.
And my hubby, Russ Cochran.
Oh.
And I was right beside him, working with him. And I wish he could be able to see the new senior center.
It's going to be something, and
Yeah.
I think they're shooting for a grand opening in April,
Oh, my
and
goodness.
it's going to be such a benefit to our community, and it's something that the city has been really supportive of. We've donated $3.5 million to make this project a reality, and it's going to have 30,000 square feet of activity space. It's going to have a state-of-the-art kitchen. It's going to be one of the new go-to spots for different nonprofit events and luncheons and musical performances. It's going to be an amazing facility.
We're talking about the new senior center.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be tremendous.
And I was just telling
Thank
her
you.
that Russ was one of the originators of it.
Originators
Well.
in the sense that Russ Cochran and Barbara Cochran, when you are trying to develop a senior center for the community, you have to do the paperwork and organize a group, and that's what they did. And they put it all together
And he wrote the grant.
wrote the grant for
Yes,
it as well.
That's fantastic. You must be so proud.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
People don't know that in the Santa Clarita Valley, and I know that there is that paperwork around somewhere. We just can't seem to find it to prove the role that they played. But there's no doubt that in our discussions with both Barbara and her husband Russell, they played a huge role. Carrie. So we have to honor them for not just the fact that we have a senior center here, but now that we're having a new senior center that will allow more seniors to be involved in our community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think he probably will be honored more when I have the celebration of his life. in the future. So the new senior center, he would be so delighted. Oh my goodness.
Well, he, you know, in a discussion with Russ, you know, he was, you know, he knew that, you know, the wheels were turning already. The question was going to be whether he would be there to be at the opening of it.
Yeah, unfortunately he won't.
Yeah.
But he will be in mind and spirit.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
And I'll be there in his place.
There you go.
So how long ago did he get those wheels turning to start the process?
In the 70s,
Yeah.
late
It's been
70s.
a long time
Long
coming.
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't. It just wouldn't be there on market, you know. And there were such, you know, tremendous negotiations that had to take place between, because we weren't a city yet.
Correct.
We were, you know, just negotiating with the county. And if you go to our present senior center, our market, it is a part of Hart Park. And the best part, if you go to the back parking lot every day, you can look up and see the buffalo. And it's not; these are real
Yes,
buffalo
they
in the city of Santa Clarita.
That's right.
It's
A gift
really
from Walt
neat.
Disney.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's it. And that kind of thing is going to be missed. It really is.
Well,
Because that won't be over at the new senior
Now,
center.
you sure we can't round them up and bring
Well,
them over?
maybe we can
Some sort of
shove them in.
stampede we could get going over to the new location.
That's
I
why
don't think we
have-
should give up on that.
We have the cross town
Valley
connector.
connector.
Let's use it.
It's bison friendly, of course.
Very good, Carrie.
Yeah, the cross connector. That would do it. Boy, they could gallop down there. And do they gallop? No, they stampede, don't they?
stampede.
They stampede.
We'd have another stampede here in Santa Clarita. It's great. We always have the stampede over at COC, right, with the bands.
Oh,
Oh,
good
that's
heavens.
right. That's right.
Yeah, which is always fun. It's tremendous talent that we have, and those buffalo over at the senior center are talented too. I'm not talking about the seniors. I'm talking about the real buffalo.
How did we get involved in this? Let's continue talking about what we're going to have in the senior center.
Sure.
You had mentioned a few of the areas,
Right.
and you have here on the list city classes for seniors.
Well, the city works very closely with the Senior Center on many of our different activities and programs, and we're a very strong supporter. Some of the classes that the city offers are classes to get people moving, increase flexibility and endurance. We offer chair yoga, stretching, water aerobics. Have you ever done water aerobics? No?
Of course she
Oh
has.
my goodness! I did
She's
it at
the water
COC
aerobics queen.
for years.
Did you?
Before they cut the program out, and it was just devastating.
Have you been to any of the city classes at the Aquatic
No.
Center? You'll have
No,
to check
I
them
haven't.
out. It sounds like if you're the water aerobics queen that we need you over there to help
Oh,
lead.
my goodness, yes, water aerobics. I did it for years, absolutely years.
So for someone
Twice a
who's
week.
never tried it, what would you say to them? How would you describe it or recommend it?
It's the safest form of exercise that you can possibly get for your body, because you have water resistance that keeps you from falling, keeps you from overstretching, because you've got that gentle resistance. Whereas if you fall on the ground, that's not a gentle resistance.
No.
At
But
all.
If you fall in the pool,
You just, you know,
just try to
splash in
float.
water a little bit.
And to me, water is so relaxing. Just being
is.
in there, it's just soothing
It
and
is.
calming. So it's a
It
great
is.
place to increase your endurance and
And
flexibility.
especially for seniors.
Definitely.
Especially. Even seniors, in fact, in some of our classes, we had seniors who would be wheeled in a wheelchair, and they would be helped into the pool, and it did wonders for them. Absolute
It's fantastic.
wonders.
Yes, water, exercise, swimming is also fantastic for seniors. We have special deals at the Aquatic Center, great rates for seniors to get in and get active.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful.
And my highest, as a physician, my highest recommendations, if people want to do any kind of exercise, especially any kind of resistant exercise, what they should do is water aerobics. It really encompasses and helps with all the muscles in the body, and it's so healthy getting that circulation going.
Absolutely.
And my patients who have done water aerobics and continue to do it have extreme quality of life. Because their mobility is enhanced,
Right.
and they can sometimes still drive. Sometimes they can get to the buses easier. They go shopping. They do everything, and everything. The bodily functions are better as well. Your bowel movements, your urination, your everything that you need to do still at home. You can still clean and dust and all of that because of water aerobics. It's really one of the few exercises that I recommend highly to keep our senior population going.
The other thing that's important too is your sociability.
Having the
Because
chance to make friends and
That's
connections.
right, because so many times seniors get disabled or have a hard time moving around. They don't want to go anyplace.
Right.
All they want to do is sit at home. And that's the worst thing in the world for seniors. It really is. And getting out to the water aerobics, everybody's there for one purpose.
Right.
And that's what's so neat about it.
Yeah.
And you have fantastic conversations and meet incredible people. I still go to lunch with the instructor
Oh, that's
at
lovely.
COC. Yeah, the whole group of us. There were about 8 of us who kind of formed a little circle, and we all decided, let's start going to lunch. And that's what we're doing. In fact, we've got a lunch set up for the first weekend in March.
I love that.
So-
well, it's a great thing to do, and I would encourage anyone who hasn't checked it out to visit our website, which is santa-clarita.com/seasons. You can go to the aquatics page, and they'll have information on all the different water aerobics and lap swim times.
Okay, that was santa-clarita.com
.com/seasons.
/seasons.
And also, if you prefer just to look in your seasons catalog, the spring one just came out.
just
You
came
have
out.
all the
Saw it.
information in there as well.
Terrific. That's wonderful. That's
And
wonderful.
also at the Canyon Country Community Center, we have Club 50 Fridays. It's a program that includes a whole bunch of different activities designed for seniors that nurtures talents and skills and enhances quality of life. We do bingo. We have a social bridge club, as well as some other activities there too. So that's at the Canyon Country Community Center.
Oh my goodness.
So how will that change once we move into the new community center?
Oh, it's going to be bigger and better.
Well, look at the enormous space that they have for it.
It's
there
going to
on
be
Sierra.
amazing. We're really limited where we are now, and the new facility, it's going to be gorgeous. It's going to change that whole area of town. It's really going to give it a new
It's
open
going
look.
to be ginormous.
It's going to be
That's
beautiful.
the
And
word.
not only the building, but the grounds around it. There's going to be so much parkland. There's going to be a beautiful entryway, a plaza with overhead trellises and seating.
Oh, my
There's going to be an area for outdoor concerts, a patio area. It's really going to be everything in one place. So we're so excited about the new Canyon Country Community Center. We're actually going to do a groundbreaking for phase 1 of construction on March 15th. We just locked in that date, so you guys are hearing it first. So we're very excited
That's
to
Friday,
start
March 15th.
progress on that. Yes.
So how long will it take, though? Phase 1, there aren't like 200 phases, are there?
There's 2 main phases. So phase 1
okay.
is doing the storm drains and the channel
I
and
see,
the
yes.
improvements.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
phase 2 is when we finally get to start building and see the new community center take shape.
Cool. So expectation for opening date and ribbon cutting is?
I would say we're looking
very-
early 2021. Early.
Early 2021.
Yes. And we
That's
can't
not-
wait. We're
that's
so
not far
excited.
away.
It's not. It's going to be
Good
here before we
heavens.
know it. Yes.
2 years from now.
Yes.
I mean, we're just about finished with 2 months into 2019.
Isn't that amazing how fast it's gone by already?
I mean, we just had Christmas.
Right?
What happened?
But not only that, this year we'll open a new senior center. 2 years from now, a community center.
Yes.
And
Are-
a new
are-
sheriff station.
Are
That's
are we
correct. On the
growing
cross
here?
connector.
Yes, right there on the Cross Valley Connector.
You
Yes.
just have to find a place for the buffalo now.
They're going to be at the senior center, out in the patio, maybe in the tech lounge. Who knows?
Now, what's going to happen with the current senior center?
That is still up for debate. That hasn't been decided yet. I know that it is, like you said, a county-owned building. So I know that we have some great ideas for it, but
it should stay there as a place for seniors to go. Who
And I think
cannot
the location
get
is-
clear across town,
Yeah.
because there are so many seniors who live around there.
Of
In those well, they're
The apartments there.
terraces, the apartments. There are
Whispering
seniors-
Oaks.
Yes, Whispering Oaks.
Well, and I know that our Santa Clarita Transit is definitely going to be working on routes to go from that area to the new senior center. We want to make sure that everybody who wants to enjoy the new facility has the ability to do so. So we will definitely make sure it's easy and accessible.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they would, but I would hope that the current senior center, as it is, would stay open to have some types of activities there for people who don't want to get on the bus.
Right.
and
Well, I'm
go
sure that's
clear
a
across
discussion
town.
that's going to be had with the county to see
Oh,
what
I
the
hope they
options
do.
are there.
I hope they keep it. I think that's a critical place for it, as compared to clear across the other side of town. And it is clear across. That's a long way. Certainly not within walking distance.
No,
No. But we have good transportation services here, and we'll figure it out. You're right. You're bringing up a great point, a question that needs to be answered, but that's in discussion.
And that's good. And it should stay in discussion. Should absolutely stay in discussion. So, and also here, library programs.
Yes,
for
our Santa
seniors.
Clarita Public Library branches have so many programs available for seniors, everything from text resources. We have a digital drop-in, again, if you need any help with your devices or e-readers or computers. We have movie screenings. And one of the programs that's coming up next month in March that I'm really excited about is One Story, One City. Are either of you familiar with our One Story, One City program?
One
Oh,
story.
yeah. I know about
Have
it.
you taken
City?
part previously?
I have not, but I intend to.
Oh, fantastic. So the idea of it is to take your traditional book club and make it citywide.
Yes,
So the
and-
whole city is reading one book at the same time. They're engaging in discussions about the events as well as different activities. And the book this year
Lisa
is...
C.
Oh, have you read it? Or you just heard?
I have not read it, but I know about it and intend to read it, and that's where I'll be participating.
Fantastic.
It's
Yes, she is a New York Times bestselling author. The title of the book is The Tea Girl of Hummingbird Lane.
The Tea Girl.
The Tea Girl,
T-E-A?
T-E-A, like a cup of tea
Girl of Hummingbird Lane.
of Hummingbird Lane.
As
And
opposed
that's
to
in England.
Mockingbird Lane, which is what, the Munsters?
Oh, I don't know. I've never watched the Monsters.
Oh, gee. Sorry. Well, dated myself
the
there a
Tea
little
Girl
bit.
of Hummingbird Lane.
Hummingbird Lane. And the book will be available at all of our library branches. You can also get it as an ebook. It's available at Barnes & Noble. So pick up a copy, read it, and then be ready to discuss it. We even are going to have different events where you can participate in a Chinese tea ceremony. You can learn how to make tea cakes. There's even a meet and greet with the author. So there's a lot of exciting events to really engage with the community and share the
She has come
story.
to Santa Clarita before.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, we'll talk to her about that, but I believe it was she came to the senior center.
And what's her name?
Lisa C, S-E-E, as opposed to S-E-A.
That's S-E.
Her mother was C's Candy. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
No, she's she's a tremendous writer, and she tells these stories that are awesome. I think it's a perfect cross-generation
It is.
book that we will be reading.
Is
So
it-
this is super.
Is it setting place in England?
Don't
It's actually in China, and it's a powerful tale about tradition, tea farming, and the enduring connection between mothers and daughters. It also deals with the topics of international adoption, and a little bit harder hitting, but it really focuses on tradition, and there's a lot of discussion as to the role that tea plays in the Chinese culture.
Isn't that interesting? That's very well. Maybe she needs to write a book about how tea plays a big part in English culture too.
Ooh, that's good. Or maybe
In England.
you.
Me?
Barbara,
I
yeah.
don't write.
Yes, you do.
Oh,
I've seen your writing. You're excellent. Really?
no. I
British
wouldn't
tea,
take
anyone?
that on.
I'll have my crumpet
Have a cup
now.
of tea? You want a
Spot
cup of
tea.
tea? A cup of tea.
Cuppa.
C-U-P-O, tea. Cup of tea.
Cup of
And that's
tea.
in the afternoon, about 4 o'clock. You have tea and crumpets. 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's tradition,
Wow.
English tradition. And of course, then you'd eat dinner around 9:30 at night, which is
It's
no.
our bedtime.
But last time I went back, that's what we did. We had tea in the afternoon and then dinner about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
It's a lovely tradition.
Oh, it is. And we have to take a break. And thank you so much, Carrie, for joining
Oh,
us.
thank
We
you
need
for
to do
This
having
this
was
me.
more
wonderful.
often,
Yes, you have
Carrie.
to come back.
I would love to. Thank you.
Wonderful. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, KHTS.
Your building sign is essential in getting customers to your location. Feathers can help get your business noticed. They walk you through each phase of your building sign project, providing special attention to detail and quality. Feathers will give you a sign you can be proud of. Your building sign will draw customers in instead of having them drive by. Feathers on Soledad in Canyon Country, across from the Edwards Theater. Or go to feathersphoto.com. That's feathersphoto.com.
If you're tired of your nail polish chipping a day or two after an expensive manicure, then you'll love the gel nail polish manicure now offered by Ann. Ann is a licensed manicurist serving the Santa Clarita Valley in Canyon Country for over 15 years. And now she's offering the gel manicure that lasts without chipping for up to 2 weeks. Log on to hometownstation.com for details on how to get an amazing deal on gel nails by Ann on Restaurant Row, or call Ann at 250-8340.
We all know sometimes people lose their way. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, the Way Out Recovery SCV may have the answers you've been waiting for. The Way Out is the premier intensive outpatient treatment center serving Santa Clarita. Asking for help is the first step. Call The Way Out today, 661-296-4444. That's 296-4444 for a private free assessment. The Way Out is an accredited, affordable outpatient program that accepts most insurance. Call us at 661-296-4444 or check us out online at thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com. Quit battling with yourself. Ask The Way Out for help today.
Aloha, friends. Go check out Honu Coffee, home of the best cold brew coffee. What makes their coffee special is how their organic coffee beans are infused with nitrogen to create a smooth and delicious cup of coffee. You'll also find traditional bold coffees and island-inspired signature drinks. They're the perfect place to catch up with friends or just relax with your favorite cup of joe. Honu Coffee on Lyons and Walnut in Newhall. Stop by and say aloha.
And now for your convenience, a second Honu location at 23502 Lyons Avenue between Peachland and Apple.
Are you at least 55 and have a torn irreparable rotator cuff? If so, you may qualify for a no-cost clinical study of an investigational shoulder implant. Visit rotatorcuffstudy.com. Learn more about the study being conducted at Southern California Orthopedic Institute's Valencia Clinic at rotatorcuffstudy.com. See video of the device and get more information on how to enroll at rotatorcuffstudy.com.
That's rotatorcuffstudy.com, rotatorcuffstudy.com.
Sponsored by Micro Air Surgical Instruments.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Jean Dorio.
There we are. You're here in person on your hometown station, KHTS. And our guest now is Miles McNamara of Comfort Keepers in Home Care, one of the sponsors of the Senior Hour. Woohoo! Yoo-hoo! It's good to see you again.
Good to see you guys.
And we have a subject, I'm sure,
A subject? Am I
Comfort keepers?
Well, I always like to start with, for our listeners who maybe have not heard us before, kind of giving a quick overview of what home care is. I mean, it is relatively new in the, scope of things, but I hear so often when people say, gosh, I wish I knew about you when mom or dad was around, that type of thing is. And what home care is it's been around for a couple decades now, so I guess it is relatively new in the spectrum of things. But most often what we found people needed was a helping hand, not medical. Home health would come in and they'd do some, medical stuff, checking vitals, wound care, whatever, and then they're gone in less than an hour. And what the industry noticed that our seniors needed help with their activities of daily living. And our adult children or our spouses needed help with, some, helping hands in the home. And that means, personal care, hygiene, helping them with, their meals and taking their medications on time, helping out around the house. I mean, and that's what our seniors need to stay in their own home. They don't need medical attention all the time. Maybe they're a little, shaky on their feet and they need some standby assist when they ambulate so they don't have that slip and fall, which is a huge risk for our seniors. So private duty home care is just that. Our caregivers, some of them have medical backgrounds, some are CNAs, LVNs, retired nurses, but we have to stay in our own lane because we are non-medical and doing the things that I just highlighted, and that allows our seniors to not have to go to a skilled nursing facility or to an assisted living, which is sometimes a good choice if that's what they want to do. But that's about what we are, is letting those choices be there. So maybe they don't want to move out of their home. They've been there for decades, and that's where all their memories are. So anyway, that's what Comfort Keepers in Home Care does. We allow our seniors to stay in their own homes. Our caregivers come in. A lot of times we don't even call them caregivers because we're non-medical, and our seniors are proud and independent, and they, so we call ourselves personal assistants. We call ourselves concierge because the minute you hear that word caregiver, you feel that, well, I don't need a nurse. Well, we're not. So again, it's a lot of times semantics, but the dynamics of, throughout our lives, we've always brought in people to the house that, for gardeners or house cleaners or cooks and chefs or whatever. And that's what we are. We're personal assistants, and we allow our seniors, and most importantly, we allow our adult kids who are juggling their own busy lives, running around, taking their kids to soccer practice or, doing their, things, and then they've got to go check on mom and dad, that type of thing. One aspect of what we do that's a lot of times overlooked, and this is really beneficial for especially our adult kids who maybe live a couple states away or whatever, is a term that I know you're aware of, Dr. Dorio. It's called case management. Is we have care managers that can oversee. We don't just stick a caregiver in the house and call it a day. I mean, there has to be someone that maybe overlooks the entire package, so to speak, scheduling doctor's appointments and the whole well-being of our senior, which is a lot of times what our adult kids are doing as they're, juggling their busy lives. They're making sure mom and dad gets to the doctor's appointments. They're making sure that the groceries are, and the cupboards are stocked and, that there's no spoiling food in the refrigerator. So my care managers can oversee the whole universe, if you will, and then they monitor our caregivers, and then they make sure the care plan's being, so we can take a lot of pressure off family members by letting my care managers oversee it, and then communicate with the family on whatever mode they want to be communicated with. Some of our clients like to be communicated after each shift. Some say, touch base with us, every week, or just send us an email with kind of the highlights of what happened over the week. So one size doesn't fit all. Whatever works best for each family. But my care managers, and I have two offices, one in Encino and one here in Santa Clarita. My care managers do just that. Once we do that initial assessment, we make the care plan, and then they monitor that care plan, and we stay in touch with the family members and schedule the even a busted pipe. We can schedule the plumber. We can make sure everything's done, and so that's why we meet with the family. We find out what the dynamics are, what where does everybody live, and then we just kind of run point on whatever level the family wants us to.
Well, it's a team effort, and you have to have a quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's what your care managers do. They quarterback the situation to assure that things are done to ultimately, bottom line, is keep our seniors in their home. I really don't know of too many seniors that say, please, Dr. Dorio, send me to a nursing home. I don't get that from any of my patients.
Right.
And I know that, ultimately they want to be where their kids have grown up, where they have raised their family and been a part of the community. They want to stay there. And we just have to find a way for our seniors to be able to do that. And that's what Comfort Keepers does for the seniors in this community. They allow that to happen.
Right. And really exciting that I just want to touch on it again that we've talked about on prior shows, and I haven't gotten my head around it because they say yes and then they hide the ball, is, because home care is private pay unless you have long-term care insurance. But in 2019, the CMS, which you're going to have to help me here, is Center for Medicare Medi-Cal Services, right?
Very good.
They've actually allowed some Medicare Advantage plans like the Kaisers and the United Healthcares or whatever to actually cover certain levels of home care. Nobody's really running point on that for the Advantage plans yet because I'm trying to find out more about it. So I just encourage folks, if you've assigned your Medicare benefits to an Advantage plan, like I said, a Kaiser, United Healthcare, et cetera, a SCAN, is call them and say, we heard that the CMS is allowing this. Are you including home care? Because what I want to see is our seniors start to be proactive and not reactive. Because we can be called to duty after a slip and fall, a broken hip, or whatever. But I really urge folks to bring us in before it is an issue, and be preventative of that slip and fall or dehydration or whatever the case may be. And so if some of these Medicare Advantage plans will start paying for home care and we can start being there on a proactive basis and prevent those issues, it's going to be a win-win for everybody.
Well, it's interesting because I have personally used Comfort Keepers with Russ before he went into the hospital. And they were wonderful.
Well, it's nice to hear. Thank you.
They really were. And if I had a problem, I would call to the office and get the problem straightened out, which did happen a couple of times. But they were there for me also. And Russ never fell while they were there.
Right. Yeah.
And the reason I got them to begin with, which was a different organization before Comfort Keepers, is that he fell or started to fall in the bathroom, and I tried to catch him and I fell. And I said, that's it. Because I can't have something happen to me where I'm incapacitated, because he's the one who needs the care. And so that's when I started it.
Right, and it's really important to, and that's part of the initial assessment that we do in that vein of being proactive again, is we come in and say, okay, what can we do to prevent that fall? Maybe Russ needed a walker, maybe he needed a gait belt, maybe he needed more handrails, maybe we need to get rid of the throw rugs, maybe we need to make sure there's no trip hazards around the house. So there's things that an outside eye can kind of notice when we walk into a home, and in the bathroom, it's like there's no grab bars in the shower. Let's fix that. If you just get in the shower and your hand will naturally reach for something. Okay, well, let's put a grab bar there, and have them professionally installed. Don't just screw it into some drywall, because that's gonna come popping out. But you're right, Barbara. I mean, it's the type of things where if you look at it in a proactive manner and say, how can we make sure that Russ doesn't fall again? Where are the danger areas? Where are the throw rugs? Where are there some thresholds in the house going from a carpet to a tile or vice versa that we can change? I mean, so you can we do safety inspections all the time to go in and see just that. Sometimes our clients can't see the forest for the trees. They're in their home, it's comfortable, and they didn't notice that throw rug that grandma's struggling on every time she walks by.
That's right.
Or they didn't notice the extension cords running across the corner over here, or like I said, the lack of grab bars in the shower. So it's really good to have that outside eye to come in and say, yeah, we can do something if the incident occurs, but what can we do to make sure the incident doesn't occur?
Exactly.
So we're trying to keep our seniors in their home, but in order to do that, we need to have those homes senior friendly. And we have talked before about homes that we should designate as senior friendly. Where it's one story, where there's wider doors and adaptable ramps where they can get in, lighting in the hallway, what you do, Miles, is you bring the added aspect of making the home, getting the hassocks, the danger points, the rugs, the throw rugs out of the way, so somebody, our senior, will not fall. So what we have to do as a society, and you're saying it correctly, proactive, and certainly families have to be proactive with their loved ones, but we as a society have to say to Medicare that we want you to pay for this kind of activity, this kind of focusing on our seniors so they can stay in their home. And of course, there are a lot of people listening right now and say, well, that Dr. Dorio wants to spend money. But there are ways, I've looked at the budget, so I know that fraud in Medicare is terrible. And it's, we're talking about billions of dollars. Fraud in hospice is terrible. We're talking about billions of dollars. And why is that happening? Because there's no oversight. If we take the fraud money and we're able to apply it to what we're talking about, it would be totally different. We would have in everybody's home, when they get to a certain point where they can't do the vacuuming, they can't manage their medicines, they can't do the grocery shopping, they can't take care of their pets, we can help them manage that so they get to stay in their homes. But we have to be proactive in saying to government, organize yourself, get this together, balance that whole aspect of being able to achieve all of this economically. We can do that. Yeah. And we will save money with those seniors who are going into nursing homes and readmitted back to hospitals. We will save that money by having them in their home comfortable and not worrying about going somewhere else where it's going to cost even more money. Yeah. We can do that as a community. But you're right, Miles. We have to be proactive in that.
And there's a multi-pronged response here that you hit on, which is awesome, is that first on this hopefully doesn't sound bad, because it's certainly not. When someone has the amazing news that they're going to have a baby, what do they do to their home?
Oh, they baby
proof it. Well, that's what we need to do in still a very positive way. Mm-hmm. We need to senior proof our home. Absolutely. So you need to walk through your home and look at it with the same kind of eye you do when you're baby proofing your home. Mm-hmm. We talked about the throw rugs or the changes of surface or whatever. Is there sharp corners if someone does fall? Let's round those corners. Let's put some padding there. Let's not have sharp objects. We need to senior proof our homes just like we are child proof our homes to make sure it's safe. Mm-hmm. And then what you said about the money and the fraud and stuff, unfortunately, it's just the fact of life. Insurance it is a business. They want to make money and they have to make money to keep in business. But what I think where home care is starting to fit into this puzzle in the proactive light is when you are proactive, you save money in the long run. And I think we've talked about this before. Remember back in the day when insurance wouldn't pay for gastric bypass surgery? Mm-hmm. There was that uncovered procedure where they'd go in and do the lap band or whatever, and people would lose hundreds of pounds. Mm-hmm. Well, then they stepped back and said, well, wait a minute. If we paid for that procedure and our patients lost 100 pounds and we took away all the diseases that come from morbidity and diabetes and heart issues. So now they cover that procedure because they save money in the long run. Yep. And I think that's where home care is going to come in. They're going to say, if we pay for some home care and we prevent that broken hip or we prevent that UTI or whatever, the list can go on forever. And I think people are starting to wake up and smell the coffee on that. They're saying, you know what, home care is such an integral part of preventative maintenance or medicine. Absolutely. That's why I think they're rolling out the Advantage plans now to say, well, let's tip our toe in the water here and see how it plays. Mm-hmm. But I think straight up Medicare and all the insurances are going to be paying for home care soon because they're going to see the benefits.
I think they should. Now, I went ahead and purchased long-term care insurance many years ago. Almost 15 years ago, against Russ's wishes. I did it anyway. And he didn't like that at all. However, up until I had to quit using home care, it paid for a third of the monthly bill.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a third is a third. It still didn't cover it all, but it certainly helped.
And that's part of that plan. And Barbara, you've always been insightful for that kind of thing. But when you're making your plan, your roadmap, long-term care should be if that's right for you. There's great agents and companies out there that can talk to you about, because you can buy different levels of long-term care.
Yes.
You can pay, depending on what type of premium you want to pay. Some people would rather start their own market savings account maybe, and that's they're putting it away for that. But you're absolutely right. When you're making your plan, maybe long-term care insurance is a part of that plan, so that when you need a helping hand, because long-term care insurance pays for home care, it also pays for assisted living. I mean, there's different areas of coverage that you can have written in your policy. Everything can be customized to your needs. But you're right, Barbara. I mean, it pays for sometimes a third, sometimes all of it, depending on the type of policy that you want to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And the other thing that Russ did also, he was complaining about how much this home care was costing. We had to pay out of pocket, And I said, Russ, this is why you made the investments you made. Mm-hmm. In case something like this happened.
You save for a rainy day and it's drizzling.
That's right. And, I don't know whether he accepted that explanation or not. But that was why he did it.
Right. And you could look him straight in the eye and say, Russ, because of this, you're getting to stay in your own home.
That's right.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, he stayed there until it was medically necessary for him to go into the hospital.
Right.
And the hospital has done a terrific job. They really have so far.
Awesome.
They have. And we need to take a break, don't we? I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, KHTS.
Sweet, salty, tastiest, bacon and pancakiest. Big yawns are okay, yummy syrups, yes way. Butter pecan, blueberry, old-fashioned strawberry. Never empty coffee pot. Mom says it hits the spot. Almonds are the fluffiest, Dad's hugs the scruffiest. Scrambled eggy, pepper shaky, orange juicy, wide awake. Stuffed French toastiest, waffles with the mustiest. Buttermilky, smooth, silky, tastes great. Love on a plate.
IHOP, everything you love about breakfast.
Experience luxury senior living at Oakmont of Valencia, Oakmont's brand new community in Santa Clarita. At Oakmont of Valencia, residents will enjoy 5-star amenities, including state-of-the-art movie theaters, spacious custom-built apartment homes, and sweeping views of the valley, all close to shopping, restaurants, and medical centers. Enjoy resort-style living, professional concierge services, a luxurious salon and day spa, and world-class dining. At Oakmont of Valencia, you'll embrace retirement in style. For details, visit oakmontofvalencia.com.
The Art Gallery of Santa Clarita Artists Association, located in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Railroad and Main, features local members' original artwork with changing exhibits every 2 months. Purchase affordable art for your home or as gifts. Open Friday through Sunday or by appointment. Artists wishing to join the SCAA can visit santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming shows, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
24/7, 365. You're up and at 'em every day, so you don't want something like Medicare Part D to slow you down. At Walgreens, we'll take care of your Medicare Part D prescriptions, saving you time and money. Make the switch to Walgreens today and get more by earning 100 balance reward points and save up to $5 on each Medicare Part D prescription when Walgreens is your preferred pharmacy. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Prescription savings applies to Tier 1 generics when you fill at a preferred versus a non-preferred pharmacy on select plans. Points can't be earned in New York, New Jersey, or Arkansas. Other restrictions and limitations apply.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Start the spring season off right with big savings on everything you need for your lawn and garden. Get your coupon at acehardware.com and save 25% on a regular priced item under $50. That's 25% savings on great products from Scott's, Miracle-Gro, Ortho, and more throughout the store. Hurry in now to get 25% savings only at your neighborhood Ace. Offer valid with coupon at participating stores through February 28th. Limit 1. Exclusions apply. See coupon.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign, next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Dr. Gene Dorio with my co-host Barbara Cochran on your hometown station, KHTS. We're talking with Miles McNamara about in-home care. And, you know, for our listening audience, Miles, it's really important that they understand, and you've tried to clarify that with home health care for patients who might be in the hospital and they get out and they need some follow-up care from the hospital versus in-home care, which tries to organize the patient and family and the home life of the individual so they can stay in their home.
Yeah, and it's an educational process because I know, you and I go back a long way, so you have your head around it, but it's interesting how many physicians don't even have their head around home care, and that, they think home health and home care is the same thing, and so we've already got that covered, and it isn't. As we mentioned at the top, it's home health will come in far less than an hour many times, and then they're gone. So the home care is the extended assistance in the home and helping our seniors to thrive in their own home. And as you know, we do a lot of discharge to home care when someone's discharged from the hospital. Usually the reason a senior will bounce right back into the hospital, and that ugly word we call a readmission, is because there's a lot of follow-up care that needs to be done when a senior's discharged to home. Follow-up doctor's appointments. Sometimes they won't go back to their follow-up doctor's appointments because they don't have transportation to get there. And that's part of my service. What we do is we all our caregivers have their own cars and they drive, and they can make sure our seniors get back to a follow-up doctor's appointment. They're not taking their medications on schedule. We obviously can't diagnose and dose it, but we can make sure that they're taking it at 10, 3, and 7. We've got the med trays. We can make sure they're taking their medications on time. So all these things, what is it? I think the first 72 hours after discharge is the red zone where someone's going to bounce back to the hospital because of the lack of everything I just talked about.
Absolutely. That happens quite often. Hospitals, unfortunately, get penalized if they bounce back 30 days.
Right.
And it's not only our hospital, but all hospitals have this problem. And it's not... it really isn't, they're trying to say that it's predicated on the care given by the hospital. Maybe some of it is, but really most of it is related to once they do this transition from going from the hospital to home, it's very complicated.
Yeah.
And yesterday I was at one of our nursing homes and I saw the list of medication from the hospital to the nursing home, and there was total confusion. I mean, and I knew the patient, so I looked at the list, but I thought, how could anyone who doesn't understand medicine really be able to hash through this and make sure they're correct? And happens every day. So that transition is really important, Miles.
Yeah, and I'll kind of tip my hat to Kaiser here, and because they've always been so innovative. They have actually, and kind of a side brag point is we actually have a partnership with Kaiser. They've actually, of all the home care companies around, they've chosen Comfort Keepers as their preferred vendor for home care. They vetted us, they like us, they blah, blah, blah. But again, being innovative, Kaiser has actually started paying for what they call transition to home care, meaning they'll call us and say, okay, Mrs. Smith is going home and we're authorizing 72 hours of post-discharge care paid for by Kaiser because of exactly what we just talked about. When they get home after they've been discharged, they're used to being in the hospital. They've had 24/7 eyes on. They've been given their medications. They've been looked after. Now they're at home. And a lot of our seniors don't have a family, environment.
No,
they don't have a family, safety net. So they get home, they're alone.
Yeah.
So, Kaiser is actually saying, what, Comfort Keepers, we'll pay for the first, it's not 72 hours straight. Maybe we'll do, 7-8 hour days or what have you. To do exactly that. We come in. Are you taking medications on time? When's your next follow-up doctor's appointment? Are you eating right? Are you hydrating correctly? So there's just a list of things that's going to make that transition back to home when maybe nobody's looking after them anymore. Now, some are blessed with family members and, family units in the area, but a lot of our seniors don't have that. Their families are out of state. Maybe they're alone. So they need that help when they get home to make sure they don't go bouncing back to the hospital.
And what I do as a house call doctor is that when my patients are coming back from the hospital, I'm trying to get out there within the first 3 days for sure to make sure they're not having recurrence of their ongoing medical problems.
Right.
And plus, what I'm seeing, unfortunately, is the problems with almost always with the medication.
Right.
Despite the fact that I might know all the medications from the hospital, getting back home, that, the discharge list that I put up is like 1 to 2 pages, but then it transitions into a printout of 13 pages.
Right.
And it gets complicated, and the patients, what should I take? What should I not take? I've seen horrendous problems, from hospitals that just have somebody hit the wrong key and the wrong dose was put in and they were getting overdosed at home. And, we were able to rectify, but how many times does that happen, Miles?
Yeah.
So you need to have a team afterwards, once they get out, like Comfort Keepers, to look at the situation, because that will keep the patient stable at home and keep them in their home and not be readmitted back to the hospital.
Yeah, and it's so sad when our seniors are just given this big discharge package and they get a 5-minute over. Okay, then when you get home, do blah, blah, blah. They're not going to retain that. They're overwhelmed. They're recovering. So, yeah, that discharge to home is such a vital transition.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and especially when someone calls you out of the blue and says, "This is the case manager, blah 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 blah, and we're discharging Russ today." What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He's not coming home. He's not able to come
It's such
home.
an important point because, again, people need to know their patients' rights. And our discharge planners are wonderful, and sometimes they're just, reacting off the last minute or decision of a doctor. But if you don't have a safe discharge in place, and you need to call the ombudsman maybe and say, help, we're not ready. We just got this dropped on us. So there's some patients' rights that folks aren't aware of that they need to, call the resources and say, I need help here because, Russ is coming home. I got an hour's notice. I don't have a discharge plan in place. I don't have any safe home care. I need another 48 hours, another 24 hours. And a lot of times they'll work with you. You just have to kind of speak up for yourself.
So and I did speak up.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
If people want to get a hold of you, Miles, what is your phone number so they can touch bases, because your in-home care is really important?
Absolutely. Right here on Lyons Avenue, 661-287-4200, 661-287-4200, or just go to comfortkeepers.com.
Thank you, Miles. Appreciate it for all that you do for our community. We are sponsored by Comfort Keepers In-Home Care and Advanced Audiology. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and enhance your quality of life.
Thanks, guys.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops